Just a very, very quick welcome. So welcome to 2021, right? So hello. I know that personally, I'm hoping that 2021 is a little bit better than 2020. 2020 was a rough year. I think that's pretty much an across the board statement for everyone. I think it applies equally to pretty much everyone. Lots of surprises in 2020. You don't need me to tell you that, but certainly for us, we spent the entire year iterating, adjusting, accommodating all these new things that came up, kind of popped up. I won't say that we played whack-a-mole, if you're familiar with that game, but gosh, 2020 sure felt like that at times, kind of putting out fires, learning new things, and then just generally learning how to navigate around some obstacles that sort of popped up. So, however, regardless of that, our mission in 2021 really remains the same. It hasn't changed at all. You can read it right here on this slide. And what we do is really we host world-class open source educational content, and we do that via conferences and meetups and workshops. And we really prioritize accessibility. And then we also focus on traditionally or historically underrepresented organizations as well. Something that we've done for more than a decade now. We have a 10-year track record. We haven't done a perfect job every time. That's, to be sure, no one's perfect, us included, but we've done the best we can, and we'd like to think that we're getting better. So we're going to continue that in 2021. The outlook, Q1, Q2. I'll be honest with you, Q1, Q2, I believe, and some of you might, I'm sure you have differing opinions on this, but in our opinion, Q1, Q2, it's going to, there's going to be a lot of turbulence. The turbulence is going to stick around at least for the first 2 quarters of this year. It's going to be a bit of a rough ride. However, Q3, Q4, we think it's going to start to smooth out a little bit. We think that vaccinations will be better distributed. They'll get to more people, and hopefully, our fingers are crossed that those vaccinations will be effective, and that they're done in a way, again, that the end result that we can begin to see some, return to some sense of normalcy. We're hoping. So what does that mean for us? Q1, Q2, we're going to remain virtual only for our events, and this applies directly to meetups and to Open Source 101, and I'll discuss those in just a second. But by the time we get around to Q3, Q4, and that Q3, it really starts in July. In our mind, it really starts right in the middle of summer, the July, August timeframe. We're going to slowly return to and start doing some things in person. That's at least the plan now. That could change. Of course, again, it's, the pieces on the chessboard are moving quickly here, but we're trying to keep up and plan accordingly. But we do intend to get back to some in-person beginning in July and August. And we're hoping that by all things open in October, we'll take more of a hybrid approach. There will be an in-person component to all things open, and then there will be a virtual component or an element to all things open as well. So we're planning for that format right now. Again, things could change, but that's at least the way it's going right now. Anyway, our spring meetups, again, I will step on the gas pedal here. Obviously, you're participating in Spacewalk 2021. This is Tuesday, January the 19th. We do have a meetup, again, coming up on February the 9th. We do not have a speaker confirmed for that one. So if you're in our audience today, if you're joining us and in our community, if you have a speaker suggestion, please drop us a line at info@allthingsopen.org. On Tuesday, March the 9th, we do have a speaker confirmed. Valerie from Airbus Defense and Space is going to join us and talk about Jenkins, continuously awesome. And then on Tuesday, April the 13th, we have another meetup, and we're in the process of confirming a speaker for April. So February 9th and April the 13th, if you see those, if you have a speaker suggestion or if you have an idea for content, please do let us know. We're close to announcing a couple of things, and we will do so very, very soon. But again, we're always open to suggestions and ideas that you might have. Open Source 101, we are going to do it this year. This event had previously been scheduled to be in person in Austin on March the 30th. We are going to move that to virtual now. So again, given the COVID situation, we really have no choice. Attendee safety is always top of mind for us. It's our first priority. So that's certainly going to, that is going to stay the case. It's going to remain true as we plan out our spring events. Again, going back to what I said regarding Q1 and Q2. We hope that you'll register for this event. Registration is scheduled to open up in early February, and we are going to focus on technology and processes, community, and then projects. We're going to take a new focus on open source projects and show people how they can get involved and introduce you to some of the people hosting some of the more popular open source projects out there. The website is Open Source 101. And again, if you have speaker or content suggestions, by all means, please let us know at info at allthingsopen.org. All Things Open 2021, again, I briefly referenced this before. We've got it set up right now for October the 18th and 19th, more of a hybrid approach. You can see some of the numbers from the 2020 event. And many of you on this call today, joining the session today, attended All Things Open. Jono, I know you participated and you co-hosted your CLS event at ATO this year, and I know we're going to try to do that again in 2021. I thought it was super successful. I think, Jono, if I'm not mistaken, I think at any time, any one point over the course of Monday, I think about 1,000 people joined or attended or participated in CLS this year. Super successful. We'll maintain the same basic format. We'll do keynotes in 45-minute and extended session workshops. Those 45 minutes in an hour and a half to 4-hour workshops. The CFP is going to open up in early February, so please be on the lookout for that. If you're interested in speaking at ATO this year, we'd love to hear from you. Again, that will officially open up in early February, so be on early to mid-February, so be on the lookout for that CFP. And again, questions, again, it's the same email address. We want to keep that consistent, info@allthingsopen.org. Open source jobs. This is something we've worked on for a while. We've announced this before, but now we're really going to focus on it. Why are we going to do a job site? We know that there are a lot of them out there, but we've always wanted to do this because open source is a little bit different. We think open source requires some knowledge and expertise, not just on the technology side, but on the process side. So why are we doing it? Two primary reasons: because people want to work in an open source environment. We talk to people consistently and they want to work in an environment that's supportive of open source, that allows associates and colleagues to participate and engage in open source and in the open source process. And then also companies need people with those skills and experiences, point blank. I mean, companies are on the lookout to hire people. They're searching for people with those skills. And what we want to do with this site is bring those two groups together. We really want to bring that together under the umbrella of opensourcejobs.com. We do have a beta site that's open right now. So you can go and post jobs if you're an employer, if you're a company or organization. And then if you're looking for jobs, I would encourage you to go to the site as well. It's 100% free. We're not looking to monetize this or anything like that at the moment. Down the road, we'll have to find a way to monetize it to offset costs. But again, this is not, no one's looking to really build this into a gigantic moneymaker. We're really trying to help people. And we view this as more of an extension of what we do at in-person events, which is really bring these two types of people and two types of groups together. One differentiator on here is that if you post a job and you want to do an interview with us about the job itself, we will post a recording of you talking about your job and explaining what the open source component is. Why is it open source? What makes it a good opportunity? We're actually going to couple those recordings with the job posting itself, so that someone searching will not only see the job, not only see the traditional details that they would see on more traditional job sites, but then they can actually look at and actually sort of virtually meet the person that's doing the hiring or the interviewing. So that's just something that's just a little bit different there. Open source score, most of you are familiar with this. Maybe some of you are new to it, but you can go to opensourcescore.org. What is it? What does it do? In short, it's just a tool. It's more of an educational tool and just a very quick survey. It's really designed as a way to gauge open source experience and knowledge. And also the educational component of this is for those of you taking the survey, we're actually attempting to convey to you, teach you, show you what a lot of the hiring managers are looking for, and even a lot of what of the open source kind of core maintainers are looking for when they're looking for people to contribute. They're looking for people with maybe some experience, that maybe contributed to open source projects in the past, or maybe have open sourced something themselves, or are familiar with open source licenses or governance policies, have attended some open source events, have just some general knowledge. Maybe they have a GitHub account, maybe you've been active on GitHub for a while. Those sorts of things will certainly help you. So it's our way of trying to educate you and help you out a little bit. Once you take the survey, we then generate a score for you, and then we tell you where you fall in relation to everybody that's ever taken the score. So that's actually a pretty cool component. You'll kind of know where you fall in relation to everybody that has engaged with the survey before. Right now, that number is about 200 people. 200 people have taken this. The average score is 52. And as you might imagine, about 3/4 have attended an open source event or a conference before. That makes sense because the majority of people that learned about SCORE learned or learned about it through us at an event or at a conference. But anyway, we look for that percentage to go down as the word gets out about the survey and more people engage and actually take it. So I would encourage you to go over to opensourcescore.org and buzz through the survey. It only takes you maybe two minutes. We are beginning to distribute a new newsletter. It's called Open Source Snapshot. It's going to be a monthly newsletter in the very beginning, but be on the lookout for that. If you're a member of our community, if you've signed up for our mailing list, you'll receive a newsletter. You can unsubscribe at any time. We're not looking to force anyone to receive yet another newsletter from yet another organization, but we are going to do our best to include a lot of the research that we engage in. I've talked extensively about this, but a lot of what we do, the way a lot of our time is spent, is actually on research. It's reading articles, white papers, watching videos, looking at even GitHub contributions and things like that as much as we can to kind of learn who's active and what's going on, to kind of keep our finger on the pulse of open source. Again, we gather a lot of data and gather a lot of information. So this is our way of making a lot of that information available to you without, while allowing you to save a lot of time and by, not forcing you to go out and do the research yourself. Again, our goal is to save you time and bring you value. So be on the lookout for that. We'll focus on news and education and events and jobs and white papers and reports and things like that. And again, end goal to provide some educational value to you. We've had a lot of questions about this. You can actually go to shop.allthingsopen.org. A lot of people are engaging in e-commerce these days, given the COVID situation. We have opened up a Shopify store. This is something people have asked us to do for a long period of time. So many people that can't come to our events, they will send us an email, they'll contact us via social media, and they'll ping us and they'll ask about, hey, is there a way that I could get a t-shirt? Is there a way that I could get a sticker or poster or things like that? Now you can. And again, this has been a long time coming. We should have done this a long time ago, but you can go to shop.allthingsopen.org and actually see some of the items that we have available. You'll see on the prices, based on the prices that you see, again, that we're not looking to take advantage of anybody. I think everything is fairly priced. Margins have been, fairly calculated. And again, I don't think anybody will feel taken advantage of when you take a look at the prices. Ultimately, we're flattered that you'd even want a shirt or a hat or a poster or a sticker or anything we have to offer. We don't take that for granted. So again, we're not trying to take advantage of anyone in any way, shape, or form here. So by all means, please check that out. And I do want to thank you all very much again for your time. Our email address, once again, is info@allthingsopen.org. You can reach me personally at todd@allthingsopen.org. And I would encourage you to do that with questions or comments. You can reach us on social media as well. We're active on Twitter and on LinkedIn and Facebook and on Instagram. So by all means, find us on social media.